Merrill Memo with Matthew Dickerson from Dubbo Regional Council.
Obviously, Mayor, we've seen Dubbo's accommodation sold out ahead of the New South Wales Touch Junior State Cup. Do you have an idea of the approximate number of people you're expecting to accommodate for that weekend?
Yeah, we're going to try and fit over 7,000 people into our city over that weekend. We normally boast that we've got over 5,000 beds, motel beds in the city, which is fantastic normally, but obviously 7,000 is a bigger number than 5,000. So already we're seeing some of the places around Dubbo. We're talking about Narromine, Gilgandra, Wellington, even as far away as Parks are picking up some accommodation as a result of this. And we're looking for different ways that we can get people into houses. We're saying to people in Dubbo, if you want to rent out a bedroom or have some extra accommodation, maybe have someone take a caravan and park it in your backyard, for example. But everything we can do to accommodate these 7,000 people, we're trying our best to do.
That's actually going to be my next question. Was the accommodation only subject to the hotels and motels, or is Airbnb now starting to get involved a bit more often and all this kind of stuff? How have, I suppose, the community rallied behind that now?
Yeah, well, all of those things. So obviously the motels, the first thing that happened as soon as Dubbo was announced as the location for this particular carnival, the Junior State Cup Northern Conference, then we found that motels were getting their phones ringing off the hook and were booked out pretty quickly. So then it was a matter of looking at other accommodation. So Airbnb hasn't been involved individually, but obviously people have been looking for Airbnb accommodation and that sort of short stay accommodation, but really is now councils trying to work with the entire community to see what other places we can find for people, and obviously working with the organisers of the event to say that when you can't find accommodation, contact council. We'll see what we can work out, whether we can find various places for you to stay at, or again, those surrounding communities. It's always good for somewhere like Dubbo for us to help those surrounding communities. So if Dubbo is going well, we think it's okay that the Narromines and the Wellingtons go okay as well.
Fantastic. I suppose it's the first time Dubbo has hosted an event of this nature. I mean, of this calibre and potentially size as well. How encouraging has it been seeing this level of interest? I mean, especially for, I suppose, future competitions down the track.
One of the things that's always fascinating about an event like this is just the extra input into the economy. Now, we've had NRL matches, we've had 12,000 people come along and attend an NRL match, but when you do something like that, you've got a lot of people that are locals for a start attending that, and people do travel from around the region, but then they might turn around and go back home. So they might travel in from a Walgett or a Brewarrina or a Burke, but then they might turn around and go home after the event. What makes this so good for our economy for a start is you've got these people travelling for a 3-day event, and sometimes when people travel for an event like that, they might stay an extra day, they might turn up a day early, they might stay a day afterwards, even a few days. So you've got this long-term effect rather than just coming in to the community and then leaving again. When we start to put some of those numbers together, we have a figure that we've used in the past of approximately $208 per person per night gets injected into our economy. And we've got a whole range of research data that goes behind that number. That wasn't a number we just plucked out of thin air. So when you start to put that into the equation, we're estimating that quite easily we'll see a $4 million injection into the economy from this event. And that's being conservative because, again, we know when we talk to people at these events, they have come a day or two early or they stay a day or two late. When you've got kids, it's obviously a junior state cup, so they're going to be kids being brought along by parents. They will take advantage of coming to somewhere they may not have been to before and obviously look at some of the attractions around the area. So fantastic for any of those tourism providers, hospitality providers, the cafes, the restaurants, the pubs, even the sort of events like movies, going along to the cinemas there, going along to the Royal Flying Doctor Visitor Experience Centre, obviously the zoo. Lots of people go to the zoo over this weekend, so it's a great win for the entire economy.
Yeah, fantastic. It sounds like it's going to be a pretty exciting weekend for you guys. I mean, with a high influx of people coming, it means an increase in traffic around the area. What strategies will be potentially put in place to deal with the large amount of traffic that's expected, especially around, I suppose, the Lady Cutler precinct?
Yeah, so we've actually closed down some of the roads, or we haven't yet, but we will over that weekend. We've been communicating that with the community already. That went through our local traffic committee, and also went through our council meeting last week just to make sure the community's informed about that. So that'll be closing it's called the Lady Cutler Precinct. That whole Lady Cutler Precinct will essentially be closed down to normal through traffic. So there'll be a little bit of inconvenience for some of our locals over that weekend, but we have been communicating that early and we'll continue to communicate that so that everyone in the community is aware of that, so they don't just get up on Saturday morning and go to drive down through the normal roads they drive down and find that they can't make it through there. And what I've found in the past has been that the community, the residents of our community, are very understanding of those traffic changes for something like this, which is a short-term event, and they know those interruptions are only going to be for a few days, but the overall economy, the overall community will gain a huge benefit. Plus, there's a chance for our locals to go along and watch some really high-class touch footy. Obviously, we're opening up the whole area to the general public, so anyone that wants to go down and watch some of these games, there's 187 teams that have registered, so they can watch some really high-class touch footy being played. The grand finals will be played on the Sunday afternoon, so to see the best of those junior teams from the entire northern region play in the grand final there, again, opportunities there for people to see some really high-class touch footy.
Yeah, lovely. I mean, thank you for your in-depth responses there. Do you have any other final comments before we finish up?
Very exciting opportunity for our community, and we do seem to do well on these type of opportunities. This is bigger than ones we've normally seen, but lots of those sporting events and conferences, a lot of people coming through for these type of events in Dubbo, and they know that Dubbo can deliver.
Fantastic. Well, thank you again, Mayor, for chatting with me this afternoon. Good luck for the next couple of weeks. It's going to be busy for you guys there, but nonetheless, thank you again.
Yeah, sure. And our staff are doing a fantastic job in all the preparations for this, working very closely, obviously, with Dubbo Touch Football Association. They contributed some money and they've been working very well towards it. And the New South Wales Touch Association have been great to work with as well. So a lot of people working together from different organisations to get a great outcome.
Fantastic. Well, thank you again for that.
Merrill Memo with Matthew Dickerson from Dubbo Regional Council.